Shefa Living is something new. I don't know the facts and figures about it, but I'm pretty confident that no one's tried doing this in this way in a very long time. We're talking about building the infrastructure for an entire Jewish community. It's not just houses. It's everything that we need to live our lifestyle. And for those people who want to move here, it's very easy to be skeptical and say, well, what if it doesn't work? What if that doesn't happen? And I'll tell anyone who has those questions, for a year and a half we've been doing this, and everyone who's been skeptical has been proven wrong with a shat d'shmaya along the way, that this is an idea that not only every small detail falls into place, it's falling into place in miraculous ways. But it doesn't discount the fact that it's a challenge. That moving to a new place and starting something from scratch, and starting in yeshiva, and starting a girls' school, and starting a grocery store, and starting restaurants, and starting houses, and an eruv, and a mikvah, this is a massive undertaking. This is a truly epic experience. But we know that from the Torah and from our relationship with Hashem and our own hashkafic beliefs, that through challenges we grow. And through challenges we find new answers that lead us on new paths. And through our own personal lives, we can bear testimony. We know, we've experienced that when we see a wall, Hashem puts it there so we find a way around it, whether it be over it, around it, or under it. We're not meant to stop. This mission of Shefa Living, this concept of building Mountain View, is not stopping with challenges. We are growing through challenges. And the families that have already bought in, over 60 families who want to live here full time, understand that together we'll overcome every challenge. But the beauty about Shefa is that you get to build it with us. The beauty of being here early and coming to be our first families, like so many want to, is that when we see a challenge, we can decide how to address that as a community. And I feel so often that from communities are vertically run. There's the top, and we all just sort of do. Shefa Living has Dash Torah. Shefa Living has Avad Rabbanim. Shefa Living has halacha, we have hashkafa, we have direction that guides every decision. But there are many things that fall outside the lines of hashkafa. And as a community, we come together horizontally. We come together in a way where we're building not only open space, but open relationships to discuss how do we address these challenges? How do we grow? Anyone who thinks of moving here and is turnkey hasn't really read the brochure properly. People who move here understand the house is turnkey. A lot of amenities are being dealt with, but we welcome you to give your opinion, offer your advice, because not only are we building a development, we're building Kahila. And Kahila takes everyone's input. And it also takes people not wanting to input. One of the greatest experiences I think I had when I was in Sharshiv. Sharshiv, for those who've read the books by Feifeld or know about Sharshiv peripherally, I was there in Beis Medrash for 10 years. Sharshiv is a place that focused on the importance of individuality, that everyone has a tafkid. Hashem could created one person, one man, one woman, and be done with it. That person could do Hashem's mission and it'll all be good. But instead, Hashem creates millions of people, and each of us have a purpose. And as the Arizal says, my purpose is obviously not the same as yours, otherwise we won't exist. That I have a mission in the world, I have a purpose, a tafkid, a tachlis, that I will accomplish in the world, you never will. And nobody else from the beginning of time to the end of time will ever accomplish what my role is in the beautiful tapestry of Hashem's master plan. And individuality is so precious. You have to realize that individuality also means individual expression. So I was in Sharshiv, I say this all the time because it was such an impact when I got there from a more yeshivish background. The guy in the top shiur who was learning Torah Shiva had a long goatee, long hair, jeans, and a t-shirt. And the guy who dressed Hasidish was wearing olive bays. And there was one guy who made us food. He went to the kitchen at night, he baked French fries and chicken nuggets, and he had a whole chiyas. He had a job during the day, but at night, he lives in our dorm because he still was part of the yeshiva. He worked all day. At night, he had a chiyas because he made us food for Mishmar. There was one guy who Erev Shabbos mopped the floors. Of course there were janitors, but one guy for the chiyas, mopping the floors, fixing the svarim, making the place look beautiful. Shefa Living is so much part of me. I hope deep down that so much of Shefa has this expression. that everyone in our community will have the ability to find their inner voice, to find how they want their tafkid and their talachos to be expressed. And we welcome that expression. And we want the people here that like to make the kiddush, make the kiddush. We like the people here that want to make sure the trails are clean, pick up the trash. People that want to find community. It's not about paying a membership dues and showing up. Communities are being present and being there and being not only welcome but valued. And what we're building at Shefa beyond the homes is a framework where every neshama, everyone who has a tachas and a tafkid will find that expression, and more importantly, feel appreciated for that expression. I've lived in a lot of Jewish communities in my lifetime, from a wide spectrum of backgrounds, from Boca to Far Rockaway to Chicago. Every community has its pros and cons. But nowadays it feels so difficult, so hard to be able to step back and find room to breathe and connect to yourself and to community, to your loved ones, to your children. It's becoming so hard just to raise kids in a healthy, happy environment where they're excited about Shabbos and excited about learning, excited about seeing tzaddikim and being included in our Yiddishkeit, included in our community. An idea of Shefa really was born from a desire to maybe take a moment and rethink and start from scratch. Maybe to take a step back and look at what works so beautifully for our communities and maybe repair some things that don't work so well. And when we started re-envisioning and reimagining on this blank canvas, we started to really think to ourselves, this is a big idea. And when I spoke to Rabbanim, they started telling me, if this works, it's a big idea. And the more Mechanchim we spoke to about the school system that we envision and what we hope to accomplish for schools, they would tell me, this is a big idea. But every time they said that, there was this little sense of skepticism that's so big and so radical and it's so new and different. And I say this with a sense of humility. It's so brave for anyone to want to take this step. Good luck. That's why I sense in there, this is a big idea. And over the year and a half, through countless hours of work, building a great team at Shefa and really having great advice and guidance from our internal team, our external consultants, our friends and our family that share the dream with us. What I have seen in the year and a half is this not only becomes something that has sparked the beginning of a movement, but the attention we're getting, the interest we're getting, the amount of phone calls and emails and sign-ups. Whenever we do a trip to the land to see it firsthand, the amount of people that are trying to show up to see it only tells me that I was not alone in that dream. That I wasn't the only person feeling this way. And that what we're creating at Shefa is something that's so beautiful and so big, and it is such a big idea. But it's very hard to be a skeptic when there are hundreds of people wanting to come see the property. It's hard to be a skeptic when Rabbanim who've come here, Rosh Yeshivas, Rabbanim, who walk away saying there's something magical happening here. Something where we see people connecting to each other in a way that's just so beautiful and so pure. It's so tummin. People are skeptical of everything new, and always have been. Lahavdil of Dallas, people are skeptical of Baal Shem Tov too. And they're skeptical about Rebbe putting tefillin on people. There are skeptics in the world. Every big idea, every brave concept will have skeptics. It's what it is. But I'll tell you what I'll tell the skeptics. Watch. Watch from the sidelines. And we'll welcome you when you're ready.